And today we're going to be talking about stereotypes. I know I have a black male with me. I have a white male with me. And then I have another black male, and he's also Muslim. And me, myself, I am from Indian descent. So, kind of like talking about how we get stereotyped in schools. Kind of just want to go off of that, like just stereotypes in the school. Like, how do you think you guys are affected by that? I like to go off with Cleveland first because, he's kind of like the most stereotypical out here, So, yeah.
I'm not really affected. Like, I haven't been stereotyped before in school, but if we're going off just stereotypes, I'm a black Muslim, so I'm automatically just a terrorist.
How do you feel about that? Like, what?
Like, the way it makes me feel, like, it's just not cool because somebody can mention that they're terrorists, and I might not even be allowed in the airport.
Yeah, and so you kind of get that bad feeling, I guess. So, and do you ever combat these experiences or like talk about these experiences with other people?
I have before because my parents have been through these experiences. We're not really we don't have that Middle Eastern look, but we are Muslims, and if we do mention that, people do get that kind of look on them because most of the people that my parents or our family are Christian. So,
describe that look that you talk about. Like, how does that make you feel?
Okay. When it makes me feel a bit weird because people just have that certain okay, have you ever mentioned something to somebody and they just have that little they just jump back a little bit like they're surprised by it. Like, that look makes me feel weird because it's not something to be surprised by. It's just a religion.
Yeah.
So these looks are coming from your family and everything. So how does that affect you that your family's giving you these looks? Because you said your family's all Christian, but
most of our
close family is Muslim. Your parents are Muslim.
My close family is Muslim, though most of my outer family is Christian themselves. Like, they accepted it now. Like, we still love each other and everything. We still hang out and everything. It's just that when we first mentioned that we were Muslim and all that, they did step back a little bit and were surprised by it.
And from Christianity and Islam, explain any differences in how they will actually affect, the way they look at you.
The way they look at me, there isn't really much of a difference. Like, they were surprised by it since they thought that there were a large difference between the two religions, but there really isn't that much of a difference between them. Literally, it's just the way we call God. Christianity, we just say God, and Muslims would say Allah, and we just see Jesus different. Like, okay, Christianity, Judaism, and Islam, they're practically all similar. Judaism just doesn't believe in Jesus, and Islam just sees Jesus as a prophet and not God's son.
So, I have a question, Cleveland. Hold on. Okay. So, obviously, a popular stereotype for the Muslim religion would be the Allah Akbar thing. I want to know, has anyone ever made that joke around you before, and how to make you feel?
If I mention it, I have told a few of my friends that I'm Muslim, and that's the first thing that comes up. And the way it is, it's just a joke, and I laugh at it because it's just so funny to think about.
I like that, because me personally, as a white male, I get all these stereotypes all the time. Me, school shooter or emo, stuff like that. Kickflip ollie, bro.
See, if we're also going off of that, Jonathan, you're Indian, so you just automatically just worship cows.
Yeah, I'm automatically a Dell tech support.
Yeah.
I'm automatically working for Dell. So
don't forget the red dot on your forehead.
No answer. No clue.
So, me personally, I take these stereotypes humorously because I just think they're funny because they don't apply to everyone. Sometimes they do apply to people, and sometimes people prove the stereotype right. But me personally, I love to take a humorous approach at it.
Yeah, I'm also black, so guess what? Fried chicken, watermelon, Kool-Aid every day.
Yeah, stereotypes do have a little truth in them, but at the end of the day, they're funny, and you really shouldn't take them seriously. But Trenton over here, my man, is being kind of quiet. Have you been affected by any stereotypes, and go into detail about it?
Honestly, I don't know if like every light skin has this experience, but I feel like I don't really have any stereotypes on me because I feel like I'm light skinned, so I can mix in with like the black people, the white people, and like there's no difference in my interactions.
Has anyone ever called you like soft or anything? I know that's a popular
Soft
stereotype.
how? No, not really.
See, I do know a stereotype for light skinned people. It's basically a stereotype that girls put saying, oh, well, light skins look better than dark people just because they're light skinned.
That's a fact, though.
It's in
That's a
here.
fact.
We'll talk about this after class.
Let's talk about this after class. But has there been any stereotypes that affected you negatively? I mean, going.
Maybe in Robbinswood, but it was like jokes. It was like they would call you white boy, but it was just like it was like those roasting sessions.
Yeah,
it wasn't
those
serious.
happened often.
Yeah, so it wasn't negative.
Well, that was my question. Sorry, that's my bad. Okay. That was my question for y'all. When, like, you were referencing people saying fried chicken and watermelon to you and stuff. Who is saying these things to you?
Basically, I'm saying now, even everybody says it. Like, if I'm going off, like, most people don't. Okay, it's like that one word session. How do I say this?
Well, can you think of a time that somebody said something like that to you, a specific story or anything like that? Because that's what I'm really interested in. Because, I mean, we understand those stereotypes and those have been around forever. But I'd like to know what your personal experience has been with somebody actually saying something like that towards you.
I actually never had anybody say that towards me. Most of the time, we would just say it as a joke.
I kind of had negative experiences with that because, like, it was a long time ago. It was like 12 years ago, first grade, and that'll be 11 years ago actually, 11 years ago, and like they would make some really stereotypical comments. I mean, it's first grade, it's whatever, but then you have middle schoolers and high schoolers bullying you, calling you all types of names. It kind of hurts. It really kind of does hurt, and like it just never. I always kept that with me. I don't know why.
What do you remember from those 11 years ago? What did they used to say?
They used to say I can't eat hamburgers. They used to say I can't eat like they used to say a whole bunch of like bad stuff.
Haha, you can't eat beef.
Yeah, it used to be bad. I mean, I eat beef now, but it's like 'cause I don't follow any religion. But I mean, it doesn't matter. You're like, I mean, I guess it did matter at the time, but now I kind of just laugh it off.
I didn't even know what stereotype meant in first grade. Like, what?
I didn't know what stereotype meant either, but like thinking back on it now, I'm kind of like, bruh.
I can honestly relate to that because elementary school, that was when like everybody was just wild. They could say anything.
Yeah, but like I don't mind if it was just elementary schools, but it wasn't just elementary schools,
It's-
middle schools, and high schoolers.
Okay. I have a quick comment. Okay, this is Theo jumping in. I have a quick question for y'all. Do y'all think it's okay to get offended at certain things, or do you think that people in general should just loosen up about stereotypes and stuff?
Certain things, yeah, because it can really, like, trigger somebody. But if it's, like, a regular thing, you could just laugh about it. Like,
It depends who you're with. Like, if I'm joking with Cleveland, you know, we're friends. I'm joking with Cleveland. I'm like, yeah, haha, jokes. But I'm not gonna come up to a random Muslim and say, haha, Muslim terrorist, boom. That's just disrespectful. I'm not gonna do that.
Exactly. Like, if I go to train and say, man, you look like the type of person to eat baked beans every day. Like,
What does that mean?
It doesn't mean anything.
like baked beans and cornbread every day with some collard greens. Like, you won't get offended by that because it's just a joke.
I mean, like, there was a time, like, you guys, I'm sure everyone knows who Dave Chappelle is.
Yeah.
His comedy is based off of stereotypes. And at a time, that was the most popular comedy around. But now he's getting a lot of negative reviews and stuff on his new, what was that show that he put on Netflix? Sticks and Stones, I think it was.
Yeah.
It was a great performance, but like it got a ton of negative reviews because people get offended by that stuff. I just think when it comes to the comedy, how are you supposed to be funny anymore? I think stereotypes make some of the funniest jokes of all time.
I really agree with
It is
you
true.
and Cleveland because I agree with Cleveland that some things can be offensive. Like if you just harp on one thing over and over again, that's like very offensive to someone's religion or culture. Yeah. But if it's just like making a joke, like Zach said, like Dave Chappelle does for comedy, I feel like there's a certain line where like you can't cross because that actually does offend someone. like no matter who they are, but there's
But,
also
but coming off of that, I feel like most comedians know you're breathing into the mic.
I'm so sorry.
Like I think most comedians know that line.
yeah. I feel like
they know that line.
they
Like,
know their
different
situation.
stereotypes.
They know the person. Yeah, I agree with you.
Like I know they might joke about a white school shooter all the time, right? But they're not gonna joke about a Muslim blowing up stuff. At least not to my knowledge. Right?
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just they know what line to cross, especially in current day society.
Yeah,
So
like
that's what I'm saying.
And I feel like all four of us kind of agreeing on the same thing kind of shows how, like, even though we're like a random sample out of like the whole population, I feel like everyone can agree that like there's a certain line you can't cross, but most of the time it's like free range.
yeah, like with the religion. Let's say the Catholic Church, and I'm just like, haha, you touch little boys because you're a Catholic.
Oh my gosh.
But if I'm like straight up just bashing the religion like a joke, then that's a line that you gotta cross.
Go ahead, Jacob.
Oh, hello. This is Jacob. I just had a little fun little stereotype I wanted to throw out. So, I'm a fat white person. I don't know why referencing that was important, but it kind of is. I think that because of the media, that like I think there's like a kind of generalization for fat people that like, oh herder, you're clumsy, oh herder, you're dumb because you're fat, hee hee. And like, yeah, I don't think that's entirely true. Because I mean, algebra 2 honors, but I just think that that's kind of a thing that existed, especially in 4th grade. Shout out to my bully, Redacted. Shout out to him. He's pretty cool. He was like, bro, I'm gonna beat you up, bro. You're dumb. You're stupid. Haha, lol. Even though like I had like all A's that year. But whatever. Yeah. So I think that there is a stereotype for fat people, but like don't bully people because of their weight. That's not cool, man. Don't do that.
I'm gonna keep it real with you, Chief.
Yeah.
I never heard anyone say fat people are clumsy. I'm not gonna
Really?
lie.
Okay. Like let me.
I've heard they're like lazy or something,
Yeah, I heard
but
they're
never
lazy.
clumsy.
And
I think-
there's some truth in that because I am lazy, but
yeah.
Here's the thing. I think it's clumsy. I think people think that they're clumsy because, like, let's say, they're walking down the hallway and then they just like trip on a rock and then they just go face forward and just crash into 3 other
That's
people.
free money for
That's
the
kind of like
school.
the joke that the media sends. I think.
See,
in a way.
piggybacking off of that, like if I look at somebody, I'll do a stereotype. Like, no offense, Jonathan, but if I look at you and I'm just like, and I never knew you, I'd be like, how much you want to bet that guy never had a girlfriend? Like,
Whoa.
Damn.
All right, Cleveland.
Look, but
I
still,
got,
if
I
you
got,
look
s- I
at
got
me,
something for you,
it'll be the
Cleveland.
same
I
thing.
got something for you, Cleveland. You look like the kind of person who watches anime.
Oh.
I mean he is.
Yeah.
He comes in with a
Career
hentai sweater like
destroyed.
24/7.
Cleveland, why are you trying to roast Jonathan? That came out of
you
nowhere.
know why? Because I got to be honest, it would be the same thing for me. Like, the
TJ?
looks
Yeah.
that people give.
TJ, you look like someone who's in macroeconomics regular.
Oh wow, that hurt.
But I'm just
All right,
going off.
I
of
got
that.
Zach,
Like,
I got
was
Zach.
just
Oh, yeah.
saying.
I got one for Zach actually.
Hit me.
I'm just gonna destroy you completely.
Let's go.
Zach, you look like a sports analyst.
Oh,
Oh my god.
Who would have known?
Where's Mr. Gallo? What is he? Is he hearing this?
No, he's good. Don't tell him. See, now if I look at Mr. Gallup here,
Looks
Mr.
like a
Gallup, you
teacher.
look like
if
a
I
math
just-
teacher.
like if I just look at him with no example, I'm gonna think this guy probably doesn't like technology.
If you're gonna talk about me, I probably should be here. No,
So
and
we're basically going off the stereotypes where if
Right.
you look at a person without knowing anything about them, what would you think?
well,
I would think that you'd like football, honestly.
You know, I feel like this brings an interesting topic, and I feel like around the table we should like describe one word of like if we never knew that person, what we thought of them. So, for example, I'd see Zach and I'd be like, okay, one word. I'd honestly say popular. That's just me. If I saw Jonathan, I'd say smart, because he's got glasses. He looks like reserved and stuff. And when I see Cleveland, yeah, I'd say weeb. Honestly,
Yeah,
I'm not
he
gonna
just
lie.
looks like someone who likes anime. You can tell.
I feel like that's an interesting perspective to see everyone's kind of like take on someone else if they didn't know them.
that is interesting. When I saw Cleveland first, I thought he's a comedian because you smile a lot, and I know you like to laugh, and so that was my first impression of you.
Pretty good impression.
Well,
Yeah.
my first impression of him was coming in on the first day of this class, and he had a hentai sweater on. So, so yeah.
See, I didn't notice stuff like that.
Nah, I remember seeing Cleveland in the courtyard a couple times. He had like an Infinity Gauntlet thing. Like
God,
I
he's
knew,
on there.
I
He said
knew
it-
immediately.
It's the size of his
Well,
head.
yeah.
And-
I think you've moved past stereotype at that point. I mean, you're really kind of labeling yourself
It's just random at that point.
with that. Not that that's not there's anything wrong with that, but I was just curious. What y'all were talking about made me think of. I don't know if you saw the news this past week about the woman that said "Okay, Boomer." You know that
and
one.
she get like written up.
Well, you know, as a baby boomer myself, you know, we have I look on Reddit, people trash baby boomers left and right, and I'm like, I want to say I'm not all bad. I
You have
promise.
feelings.
No, Mr.
too.
Gallagher.
I didn't
Feelings.
trash the
Mr.
environment.
Gallagher,
I didn't.
You're
do
one
it.
of the good ones, all right?
You
I
have
didn't do
feelings
it.
too. Boomers have feelings too, guys. PSA for this podcast. Boomers
We
have
just don't
feelings.
care. That's
Stop
what-
bashing them. It's only like 10 of them that act like that.
No, but I mean, there is stereotype towards age. There certainly is there, as well as other things.
You know, we can probably go off of that too, because I know, coming off of different things like movies, games, and media, I feel like they treat kids. They really underestimate how smart kids can be, and they really like to dumb down things like movies, games, TV shows, stuff like that. So, what's your opinion on that?
I feel like that's highlighted in real life too, because I feel like your parents, they always say, "Hey, get out there, go experience new things." But when you actually like make plans to do that, they always say, "Oh, well, I need to know this and need that." And I understand they're trying to keep you safe, they're wary, but it's like, how can you say one thing, but then like kind of degrade us into like someone that can't watch out for themselves?
See, that is kind of true because my parents, they wanted me to always go outside and do stuff. And when I used, they used to, they used to just send me outside with no warning saying do something. So I would just be outside like a plant, just photosynthesizing or something. It's like nothing to do.
Well, my question was more like, how do you think people who make movies, people who make video games, people who make TV shows, how do you think they stereotype kids? Because what I'm seeing is that they're dumbing down the app programs, dumbing down movies, dumbing down video games.
I think at the end of the day, it depends on the demographic that the producer is trying to approach. If it's aimed towards kids, like a Disney show or a Disney movie, then more than likely the kids are gonna be the main protagonists, and they're gonna be the hero, the smart guy, the guy that comes up with a solution to the problem.
See, piggybacking off of that, like let's say a movie is aimed towards older audience and it has a kid in it. I'm pretty much betting the kid is either finna be some dumb kid or it's finna be a fat kid with glasses.
Well,
Like
yeah,
this.
but like I'm talking about more like, okay, you have a Western show. What's a new Western kids show that we have out right now?
I don't know.
Yeah, I
have no
really
idea.
can't remember, right?
I've been surviving off of Netflix for like the past year.
I can't really remember a decent like modern kid show off the top of my head. Hold on.
I guess it also just depends on generations wise.
Yeah, because I'm gonna just go off what I remember, right? What did we watch when we were kids?
SpongeBob, Danny
Courage the Cowardly
Phantom,
Dog.
Timmy, Fairly Odd Parents.
Yeah.
Right? And compare that to what kids watch in Japan. Now, I'm not trying to sound like a mega weeb here, but they grew up with One Piece, Naruto, Dragon Ball, and all these other great anime, right?
And we grew up with that like 10 years after they did.
Yeah. Like they grew up with those shows when they were 8, while we grew up with SpongeBob when we were 8. So is there a cultural differences in like how certain people stereotype kids, or is it just, they just have different outlooks on what they want to make?
Yeah, there is different like cultures that influence someone's perspective. I agree with that.
Never mind.
Okay.
Just forgetting what you said midway.
It's for Kobe's. So you guys have any response for that one?
I actually don't have anything to
It's
comment
a
on.
topic that I'm not very educated on.
Yeah.
All right.
I wanted to ask a question. So, besides stereotyping us, what stereotype have you seen, like just one stereotype you've made that turned out to be completely true at the school?
The drama kids are whiny. Yes, 100%.
And how are
SGA kids are stuck up.
100% agree with SJ, but I want to go back to drama. How are drama kids whiny, and how does that like?
We
how-
gotta hear from a drama kid right here.
Not even close. I was gonna rant about SGA for a minute.
Oh.
Jackson, please just don't hold me.
Jackson's
don't
like
hold me
one
don't
of
hold
10
me for
people I know
blackmail,
from
please.
SGA that are like actually cool.
Yeah. I'm cool. All right, I gotta go.
You're not
I gotta
in
go
SGA?
off about SGA for a minute. I was a member for a whole year, and oh man, it was very much a lot of self-centered seniors. I was like, what? How? how do like the 3-year members deal with 3 years of seniors? That's what I need to know.
Do you think you being a freshman affected that?
Well, that too, and because like that's a class too that's like very labor intensive. Like I was expecting to like learn about, okay, so when you're talking about a speech, you're gonna do this, and when you do Parley Pro, you're gonna do this and this and this, and like I wasn't expecting to lift boxes for 20 minutes every single day.
Okay, I'm gonna cut you off there, Jackson. I want to hear your perspective.
Yeah, Jackson,
and
get
how
on here.
your experience was in SGA.
By the way, we're not responsible if Jackson gets in trouble for this. Come on, Jackson.
Well, I'm gonna just come over to Jacob side real quick. It's SGA. It's the Student Government Association. It's just like pretty much like the student body.
They think they're teachers at this
Yeah,
point.
I don't know what you expected.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely a class system in that program.
Oh,
I'm not
yeah.
saying that in a bad way, but like you join, you're a freshman, you're either feeble-minded or you have a lot of potential.
Bro.
You kind of just work your way up. It's understandable how you say they like some people feel like a sense of superiority, like an officer or something. But I mean, my officers, they've been pretty cool. But I've heard times where they act like teachers and they try and boss up all the time, which is kind of lame. But I mean, it's just like he said, it's a very work-oriented class, so there's definitely like a lot to go on.
I mean, isn't that kind of their job though?
Yeah, it's their job, which is why I'm not like gonna bash on it. It's like their job. Each class has like 2 officers, and they basically run things. So I guess you do have to have like that superiority.
You
like,
have to have an assertiveness.
yeah, that assertiveness.
Yeah, and I wanted to ask you, where do you think you rank in that class system?
Well, I am an able-bodied male, so I lift a lot of things. I reach for a lot of things. But now I'm a junior, so I kind of have that like superior like status now. Like Miss Cartwright, she wants me to teach the class sometimes about some things that happen in SGA. So I'm kind of like a guide now. Really.
And has that power ever gone to your head at least once?
No, not really.
Jackson doesn't seem like that type of guy.
Yeah, Jackson really doesn't seem like that type of guy. He's
Just
just
vibing.
chill.
Just vibing.
He just
chilling.
He's just straight
Straight
vibes
vibing.
out here. But yeah, another question I want to ask you guys: do you think there's stereotypes within our classes? Class of 2020, class of 2021, 2022, 2023.
Hell yeah. I'm sorry. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Go into more detail about that.
So these are just mine. This doesn't represent the class. Anyone listening, I agree with Jonathan where he said SGA kids are stuck up. Besides like that select few, I believe drama kids are whiny and also like pretentious and stuck up. I believe band kids are a mix of like they're cool, but at the same time, I feel like they think they're better than most students.
I mean, we do run the school, but okay.
Okay, dude. Okay, but
You got a band kid right
And
here.
also
You better
feel
watch
like-
out.
I also feel like athletic kids like feel like they're kind of superior to every other student, but that's just stereotypes. It's not true. And I feel like class of 2020 on graduation day, just from what I've seen, I feel like those kids are gonna be more glorified than just an average Joe, like me or Jonathan. Well, Jonathan's been. I mean, like me or who's another senior? Smith. Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, because we did programs within the school,
Yeah.
so that obviously comes with its own benefits.
I think that what you said about athletics being favoritized here, I think especially football, I think they get like the most leeway towards things, in my opinion.
They
'Cause,
really
like-
do.
Because like in SGA, right? We were talking about this last year. We were figuring out how to get kids to stop skipping lunch lines, and one of the things that was brought up was that we see a lot of football kids skipping, and the staff just kind of let them.
Yes, they really do. And they look them dead in the eye, too. And that makes me mad because it was Chicken Wednesday, too. And they ran out. But I swear to God, if 10 people didn't skip me, I would have got my food. I would have got my food.
no.
That's another thing.
They gave me the stale pizza where the whole cheese just comes off.
Dude, and the way they walk in that line too, it's like they take up as much space as they can. They walk so slow.
Because they're all so big.
Gosh, it makes me mad.
Man, I'm just saying,
See,
I should join football.
Well, I know
next
something
year.
that I noticed during like the first pep rally when all the teams were coming out. They had like regular stuff, and the moment a football team gets announced, biggest music, everybody hype. Like,
Well, yeah, because that's what we do. That's kind of the like intro.
Well, football is like one of the toppest like rated sports.
It's the top rated sport
Yeah.
sport
still,
in America.
let some low team like the bowling team or the swim team get something exciting.
All right,
Yeah, man,
let's be real here. Who actually knew there was a golf team?
I didn't.
I
I
did.
did.
I
I
did.
didn't.
Yo, okay,
I had to cover.
I didn't
golf.
know that
I
there
made
was
a
swim
yearbook.
team.
I
didn't-
made a yearbook spread for the golf team.
I just know I like referenced someone on the board up here, just said like, hey, we should get him for an interview, and he's in golf. So
All right, so we're just gonna like wrap it up here, I guess.
Okay.
Oh, we got time. We got 15
But
minutes.
I gotta add something before you wrap it up.
Hold on.
Sorry.
No, go.
Oh, okay. I feel like some of it is warranted though, because some like football players, like they have scholarships already. They're already committed, and I feel like those few gems, I guess, glorify the program. I don't know. That's just my
Yeah,
opinion.
like those gems make their program look good, but then you have like people who's in it for clout, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like they're just in it to be in football.
And
Okay.
wait, are we ending it then, or
No, we can keep going.
okay?
Okay, look, just going off. I didn't know that there was a swim team.
Okay.
I didn't know that there was a golf team. I didn't know that there was a
You didn't
bowling
know there was a swim team?
I didn't know that there was like.
yeah, swim team was pretty cool.
I knew there was a
Our swim
swim,
team is
lacrosse,
good.
and football team.
Yeah, man, we're pretty good.
basketball.
Yeah, all I knew was lacrosse, track, soccer, football,
Yeah.
basketball.
Standard ones.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
all I
the
knew.
standards.
Then there's like 15 other teams that I didn't know about.
Yeah, but I'm trying to switching up the subject here because we're kind of getting a little off topic.
I'm sorry. I just actually like wanted to say one more thing about athletics being stereotypical. Swim team, especially. I was there for 20 minutes, and like, yeah, I saw stereotypes honestly, or I saw one actually. The seniors are pretty much like SGA, maybe a little worse.
Well, they have to kind of be like coaches too, especially on a sports team.
Yeah, but like I think their enthusiasm is just a little bit too overbearing.
Well, it's a sport.
You need that.
They're kind of the big brother of the team.
It's a sport. You're supposed to be
Yeah,
competitive.
but like,
you're supposed to be
but
competitive.
like,
They have to be.
Your main
enthusiastic.
drive in a sport is to
little
win.
bit of restraint could be used when you're just like saying,
Not really.
No,
Not really.
come to practice,
no.
please.
Come to practice, get better. That's the whole motto.
That's
Oh,
that big
man.
brother feeling.
It's very unfair to
Especially if you-
stereotype athletes like that.
It
Especially
really
if
is
you're
very
in-
unfair to
I agree with
stereotype them because you do not know what hard work they put in.
Yeah, and if you're in like one of the smaller sports like swimming or golf or something, like you have to be enthusiastic about it because it's such a small demographic.
And that if you don't do good, that sport can get shut down next year. So,
Ooh,
like, you have to put in work for
You're
that
playing
sport.
for like the program's life, basically.
But kind of switching up the subject, like I said, you know, how we stereotype classes, right? Kind of go back on that. How do you think we stereotype freshmen?
Oh,
Like, just
my
every
God.
single-
It's
They're
every,
short, dumb people. That's how we
Yeah.
stereotype them.
Every year it seems like the freshmen just keep on getting shorter and shorter. That's something that we always talk about.
I was a freshman last year. You could
Go
see.
into more detail about that.
Like I don't know specifically, like I can't stereotype class of 2020, class of 2021, but I can stereotype senior, junior, sophomore, and freshman. Like the freshmen just feel like we always stereotype them as the short, stupid kids, right?
Yeah.
See,
And then
I
like
was a freshman last year, and we stereotyped seniors as hairy gorillas. Literally.
I want to piggyback on that because I remember as a sophomore, one of my friends, and I'll pass it back to you, Zach, because you weren't done speaking. But like the first week of sophomore, she was like, "Oh, look at these freshmen." Like you were a freshman.
you were a freshman like
literally
3
last
months
year. Anyway, what were you saying, Zach? Sorry.
nah, that's about it. Go ahead, Jackson.
I would say that there is a stereotype or like a noticeable difference, at least I see, between like the generations. I see it as like 1997 to 2003. that's like a good generation. But anything after is like the musically kids, the cringy kids, and no offense, you're
No offense,
2004?
Jacob.
Jacob, you're 2004. Yeah, you're cool. I like Jacob. Jacob's cool, but like
What about Cleveland?
Cleveland, yeah, you're cool. Like we're all cool, but like you guys get what I'm saying. No,
Those
like
2005 kids though.
exactly. Like I see the difference. I notice the
I
difference.
was born 2003.
Like
so
we
I'm
had a
saying.
little bit of time before like social media and cell phones. Like
They
we
had
saw
iPhones
flip
when they were
phones.
8.
Like we had flip phones.
I
Like
didn't have my first
we
phone.
remember like 2007, 2008, like those good years. But like those 05 kids, man, like they've had
They-
that phone
Yo,
in their face.
I swear to
Like,
God, I seen a 6-year-old with an iPhone.
My
7.
I didn't have my first phone
Bruh.
till I was 12.
my cousin was born in 2006, and I remember this is like early 2010s, maybe like 12 or 11. I remember my mom still had a flip phone. I remember she's like, "Here, Gianni, go call your mom." And like he flips it open and he's touching the screen. I'm like, "Man, there's buttons there. You got to use the buttons."
See,
So, like-
see, if we're stereotyping kids, have you guys ever been at like a family reunion with your phone and there's like that one kid that you stereotype that she's like, "Do you have games on your phone?"
Yeah,
Can
yeah,
I
those are
play
the 2005 kids.
Yeah, those
Is
are.
it in forward, but no offense. I mean, we're all good people, right?
Yeah.
See, if we're also
I mean,
stereotyping,
that's like a whole new generation at that point.
see, if we're also stereotyping classes, then calculus is just a nightmare automatically.
Yes. Calculus is a nightmare. I
Yeah.
stayed up till 3 doing homework.
Couldn't be me.
Couldn't be me.
Couldn't
I
be
have
me
prop and
either.
stats.
Yeah, I heard province stats is easy. I should have took it.
Miss McLemore, yeah, she's a cool teacher.
But yeah, we're just gonna wrap it up here. Stereotypes. What can you say about them?
We really went off topic.
We really went off topic, but I mean, it wasn't really off topic though because we kind of stayed. We're talking about the topics within the topic, kind of like a frame story, just using that knowledge. So yeah, this is Jonathan,
Zach.
This is Trenton.
In Cleveland.
And your engineer, Leo.
and the Stereotypes podcast is out.
You miss every shot you don't take.